Hey everybody, it's Mr. Chris doing some Science Guy talks. We had a project this week for making a water strider, which is a type of insect you see a lot in the summer along the riverfront or on ponds and lakes in the area. And this is what they look like, a real picture of one. And I've also got pictures on my iPad I can show you. So this is, sometimes they're hard to see. They're very small, but this is kind of a profile view of one on the water. And then this is the overhead view of the one that is on your direction sheet. So you can kind of see how it's making contact with the water in those various points on its legs, arms and legs, but it's able to stay on top of the water. A lot of people are like, how does that work? How can something be on top of the water? So we're going to do some experiments with surface tension and bonds between water molecules and disturbing that with some soap. So I wanted to kind of explain what was in the kit because due to some errors with the miscommunications on the rooms, we were going to be at the high school. I didn't get to demonstrate this, but I was able to get the kits out to everybody that had registered and showed up. So everything you need to do is listed in the direction booklet, and you've got 4 experiments you can do in this booklet, and everything you needed is in the kit. I was just going to explain a couple of things since I didn't get to demonstrate it on that. So one of the ones you're going to do, if I can crank this down here, is with the pennies. So you have a paper towel in the bag, and you can lay out your pennies, and then you've got these little, what we call pipettes. And there's 2 different sizes. They both do the same thing. It's just you'd like to keep them separated. If you're going to do the soapy solution with water, you'd want to use one pipette just to suck up the water in soap solution with that, and not mix it with the other pipette that you could just be using for the water experiment. So on your pennies, you are going to be, I can demonstrate here, it's kind of hard to see with clear water on that, but you're going to be putting a drop of water on the penny with just the water solution, and then you can add another droplet and another droplet, and you can keep going like that. And then you've got a little notebook and a pencil here to be able to log how many drops of water you're able to get on the surface of the penny before you can't get any more drops on until it spills off onto the paper towel. So that'll be a demonstration in surface tension. You can kind of see the bubble of water there up on the penny. So that's a demonstration of the surface tension with the water in the air, and then how many water droplets can a penny hold, can it support. And then on the second penny, that's when you're going to do, and again, you can use whichever pipette you want. I just gave you 2 so you wouldn't have to get them both contaminated with soap if you just wanted to have a water one and then a soap and water one. So this one I gave you a little bit of just regular dish soap. You can mix that with a little bit of water, or at your bowl that was provided here, you can be drawing the water from that. And then you have a spoon to mix that solution up. And then you're going to be using that other pipette to do the same experiment, but with adding the element of dish soap to see if that changes your results at all. And then same thing, you can write a new page, water with soap, and then jot down how many, are you able to do more or less water droplets on a penny for that. And that'll explain hopefully a little bit of something with the bonds between the water molecules and how that's affected by different things we can add or subtract to the water. So then you're going to get to your experiment of doing a water strider. And that's where you get to kind of do your own design. Again, you're going to have your notebook here based on if you want to do a little Google searching, like some of the images I showed, if you want to study different water striders and kind of see their body shape, if you want to get ideas on how you're going to create your bug, you can draw out a sketch, figure out what you want to do for your design on yours, and then you can start. You've been provided with about 12 inches of wire, a really fine gauge wire for this, and you can see I started doing, you have some googly eyes. So I used a glue stick, or you can use regular Elmer's glue, whatever you have around, and I just showed you how I was doing them. There's one eyelet there that I didn't put an eye on, just bending the wire around, and then one where I glued it, so those are going to be the eyes for my bug. And then I started doing things with, you can be making wings. I made one wing if your bug's going to have wings. I started working on making feet for bugs, so it's just got a little bit of a curve to it that'll rest on the water and kind of get more of that surface area so it can kind of ride on the water. And then you have these little black plastic segments, and that's what you're going to be able to, when you're doing the body of your insect, you're going to want this to be like the main part of the body of the insect. So if we want to look at that picture again, if you're kind of seeing the more defined body parts there, that kind of center body of the water strider, you can pick what it is, if that's the kind of neck or stomach or whatnot of your insect, and then you can attach your wires off of that. So you can use a pair of scissors. The wire is very fine, so it's very easy to cut with a pair of scissors like we have here, or even if you just bend it back and forth, after a few bends, you'll be able to break the piece off. And so you've got that 12 inches you were provided, but you can break those up into as many pieces as you want. And then you can kind of see, just doing some experiments on some that I have floating in there right now. And then you can do those experiments. Does it float? Does it sink to the bottom? Do you need to make a design change then and kind of go back because your first experiment didn't work for that? That's when you can go back to your drawings and see if you had other sketches, or if you want to revise your idea and try a different drawing, or adding or subtracting wings, or adding or subtracting legs, shorter body, longer body, things like that. You can do that. And then you've got this little bowl, which again is hard to see. Sometimes if you have food coloring, it's fun to add a drop of food coloring, because that's a little bit easier to see things floating in the water when it's kind of hard to make that out. When everything's clear, it's a clear bowl of clear water for doing that. So that was the design challenge for this one. And the other one you had that you could do is you're provided with some note cards, and that experiment is listed on experiment 3, I think. So you're going to cut out the note cards you have in the shape of a triangle, and you're going to make a little notch in the back. A notch is just like if you're punching a small little hole. You could do it with the pencil that you have provided, and you're just going to make a little notch in the triangle that you're going to do there, and then you can do that in the same bowl, and you're going to do a little boat experiment. Same thing with the soap that you've been provided. You're going to want to use that one pipette that you used with the soap, and you're going to put a drop of that soapy water solution on your triangle boat and see what happens with that. So those, I just want to talk about, were the experiments in the kit, and hopefully giving you a few pointers on some of the things that we included in the bag, everything you needed to have a hopefully successful set of experiments. And then we'll be hopefully back to regular location setup for doing Science Guy Tuesdays in person again. So enjoy your experiments. I hope you have fun with them. If you'd like to share any photos with us of what your results were or what your designs were, we'd love to see them. And we'll see you again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye.